Okay, that should be live. Strange, it's playing around. Right, let me test this out. How do I do this? There we go. Hey TikTok, sorry, just faffing around with my YouTube setup. I'm doing something slightly different today. I'm doing more of a lecture, talking about how to monetize your AI knowledge online. So everything's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be the best place to watch the live stream, but you're very welcome here, of course, as well. And I'll kick off in just a minute. The reason is, again, we have a relatively slow AI news day. This week has been quite quiet, which is unusual. So I'm going to be doing something a bit different. Right, let's kick off. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, because I have become a night owl because of, I think, the darkness. I'm now working until midnight every day on various vibe coding projects, and then everything else is getting pushed back, but it is what it is. It is winter time, unfortunately. We are doing something slightly different today. We are going to be talking about how you can become something I'm calling an AI authority. Somebody who knows about artificial intelligence and knows about how to use it and can therefore go and talk to people, can create content, can become known for your expertise within your particular industry. There's a big opportunity doing this right now because there are lots of generic AI authorities or AI experts out there, but very few people who have niched down into their particular industry, very few people who are teaching artificial intelligence to teachers and artificial intelligence to social workers or artificial intelligence to, gosh, I'm running out of things, people who work in retail, for example. There's very few people who are doing specific. So because these spaces are wide open, I'm highly recommending that you go and grab those spaces. You begin to create content and you become known. You become a key person of influence within that particular area. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. This comes from a quiz that I've built. This is a product which is not quite yet ready. We're launching it on Saturday, so make sure you are on the newsletter for Saturday. But something I'm calling the Freedom OS. I've basically created a whole range of different assessments and tests to help you work out what you should be doing right now vis-a-vis artificial intelligence. So helping you work out, okay, how at threat is my job? What can I do moving forward? What's my current AI knowledge? What do I need to learn? How do I filter through the news and information? And then giving people a quiz which shows them what kind of income models or businesses they should be looking at. And in particular, there are a big four models, which I highly recommend to people, which are becoming an AI authority. That's what we're going to cover today. Giving AI workshops, that is going into businesses and charging money to go and teach them. I charge about $2,000 per hour to go and do this, for example. Becoming an AI builder. This is somebody who uses vibe coding or uses code to build products and SaaS. And then AI automation, which is going into businesses and helping them with their workflows. These are four really strong business models right now. I'm going to be talking about AI authority. And I've created a very basic, I wouldn't even call it a presentation. Let me see if I can get to it now. Nope, can't. There we go. These are the talking points, basically, and how I recommend becoming an AI authority. So if you're on TikTok, you can't see this, jump over onto YouTube and you'll be able to see the whole thing. Very, very basic though. All you can see on screen is TikTok, Instagram, post every day, talking head about AI in your niche, copy what works and stick to it. I'm going to be talking about each of these talking points one at a time. Very basic. You can see I haven't created a beautiful slide deck. I haven't, there's no kind of secrets here. I'm just going to be giving you the raw information that you need to get started with this and to turn it into a business. I'm just going to hop over to TikTok, see if there's any questions, and then I'll jump in. I don't think so. That's all right. Cool. So, first of all, why would you want to do this? If you can become known, if you can become a key person of influence within your particular niche, helping your niche and your industry learn how to use artificial intelligence, that's an incredibly powerful place for you to be right now. A lot of jobs are becoming more wobbly, especially ones that are automatable via AI. But if you are at the forefront showing your industry how they should be thinking about AI, what AI is good for, what AI is not good for, very important, then you put yourself in a really strong position moving forward. The best way to do this right now, and there's no startup costs, it's just about you and your telephone, is to create content, is to get a camera out and record yourself talking about artificial intelligence to the people who need to hear about this. I'm not talking about high level, highly technical information. I'm talking about helping people who aren't using ChatGPT, helping people who are using ChatGPT, but maybe they're using it like Google right now, and helping people kind of level up and skill up, but specific to their industry. So you're not just going to be talking about AI in general. It's too wide, there's too much competition, but instead you are going to focus on the industry that you've been working in: aeronautics, engineering, social worker, teacher, accountancy, whatever it is, and you are going to be talking about how AI affects you and people within your industry, because you're already well ahead of the curve. If you are watching me, some British nerd, sitting here talking live on a live stream about artificial intelligence, you are in a tiny percentage of people who are actually paying attention to this kind of stuff, which means you have a lot to share with the people who are either burying their heads in the sand or have dabbled with AI and not realized what it can do for them and their lives. So you are in a really good position right now. So I'm going to be talking about how we practically do this. First up, the format: video. Video is, yes, the hardest one to do, and I can imagine if you're watching this, you're thinking, I don't want to do that. I just want to write. I want to sit behind my computer. I want to be faceless. I want to write and put out written content and blog articles and stuff like that. It doesn't work anymore. It does not work. What people want is video, and they want short form video. They don't even want long form YouTube video either. And because that's what most people engage with, because that's what most people want to watch on a daily basis, scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram, that is what the platforms reward as well. And this is the same, not just on TikTok, not just on Instagram, but also on YouTube Shorts, and also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Pretty much any social media platform prioritizes short form video because it increases engagement for the platform. So they push it in their algorithm, and it is the best content for you to make. It is also one of the hardest forms to make. So this is good and it's bad. It's bad in that you need to get over yourself and become skilled at doing short form content. It's good because it sets up a moat around you, and that other people who are feeling what you're feeling right now, the horror of having to point a camera at yourself, it keeps them out of competition. So there are very few people who will step up and actually do what I'm saying right now, which is, hey, get your phone, go to TikTok, record a video, post that video. If you can do that, you're ahead of 90% of the people. TikTok and Instagram are going to be the best places to start because they prioritize short form video. You can 100% take your videos from TikTok and Instagram and repurpose them onto other channels. I do. You can do it manually by downloading them and then uploading them, or you can do that automatically using something like repurpose.io. I do both. Do be aware, if you do it automatically, you will take a kind of an algorithmic hit because the social media platforms know that you're using an auto reposter. So generally manually is going to be better, but obviously it's going to be more work. Out of the two, TikTok and Instagram, I would personally recommend TikTok. The reason for this is TikTok is based on your videos. It's not based on your account. So you can start up a new TikTok account, you can post a video, and if it hits, it will go to 100,000, a million people. It does not matter how big your account is. Whereas on Instagram, the size of your account and your past record is important. And they want to see consistency over time before they reward you with a video just going to the moon. So TikTok is more rewarding and more forgiving for new accounts because you can start and grow very, very quickly if you are doing the right type of content. It's also much better for, I'm going to get into this in a moment, talking head type content where you are just delivering content directly. That works better on TikTok than on Instagram. Instagram tends to prefer polish. It tends to prefer a bit of editing. And all of that takes time. I'm going to talk about why that is a problem in a moment. So TikTok would be my highest recommendation. Instagram would be my secondary one. Yes, you might want to write blog articles. Maybe you want to do a Substack. Maybe you want to do a newsletter. Maybe you want to write on Twitter. That's all fine. It's just less impactful than getting your face on camera and talking to the people you need to be talking to and building your audience. And also, I mean, we work in AI. We know this. This kind of video is the hardest to fake with AI. It's not impossible, but it is the hardest. So text is very easy to do using artificial intelligence, which means Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. are getting flooded with AI text. Don't fight that. Don't compete with that. Don't bother. Faceless video is up and coming, and people are building huge channels, but it's mainly AI slop. Don't try to enter the faceless video market just because you don't want your face to be on camera, because again, AI is very good at that and you will not win. So I highly recommend getting on camera. Yes, 100% AI avatars are a thing. This could be AI right now, well, probably not. But it's costly, which means there are barriers. And as of yet, the tech isn't quite there. AI avatars are a little bit too polished. Of course, we can add in ums and ers and make them go all over the place, but video is still one of the kind of last bastions of being able to connect with humans, especially doing what I'm doing right now, which is live video. That's something for later though. Just start with short videos for now. Next thing, post every single day. Yes, I know that is hard. That is hard work. But the reason we're doing it is not just because the algorithms like it. The reason we're doing it is we want it to become a creative habit. So I actually run something called the AI Authority Accelerator, which, let me see if I can pull it up. Yes, there we go. So I have students who come in here and they join this program, and basically the idea is to build up a creative habit by giving people the videos they should be producing on a daily basis and setting them off to do it. Building that creative habit is more important than building your audience, at least initially. You just want to get into the habit of sitting down every day, getting the camera, blah, 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 post. Because once you're in that habit, the quantity of content you put out will lead to quality over time. You just need to practice the skill, and that comes from doing the repetitions. If you do any kind of exercise, if you do any kind of weightlifting, you know this. You just have to put in the repetitions, and it is exactly the same with content. So you're going to post every single day. I've seen some people try and do, I'm gonna film on Mondays and Thursdays, and then on Sunday I'll edit it, and it gets too complex. I highly recommend removing all of that complexity and just sitting down every day for 5 minutes, talking to camera, post. Every day, 5 minutes, post. You remove the complexity of scheduling and it becomes a daily task. It becomes just something that you do, and you get into a habit, basically, in the same way that we now brush our teeth every day, because that's what we had to do as children. So how do we make this possible without burning out? This is where our actual format comes into play. I highly recommend talking head. That is literally getting the camera, talking to the camera for 30 seconds, talking to the camera for 1 minute. You can, on both Instagram and TikTok, do it sentence by sentence. So they have the ability to hold down the button, record, let go the button, and it cuts the sentence. So that allows you to break it down. Hell, you could do it word by word if you want. I don't recommend it, but you could technically. I do recommend trying to build up the skill of just being able to talk to camera. It is hard. It's something that I have learned to do over the last couple of years. I am very naturally introverted. I normally and stumble and talk in circles. I still do. But there we go. But you can become better by practicing it. And it's a really good skill to have. And it also feeds into public speaking later on, which is something I recommend, because as AI takes over a lot of jobs, public speaking is going to still be a very valuable human-to-human skill. So just talking to your camera, delivering your point, and I'll talk about what we talk about in a moment, and then publishing it. Notice there's very little editing. There is very little adding of titles. There's very little kind of cutting out and rearranging our content. There's very little collecting B-roll, etc. It's going to be quite boring initially. It's just you talking to the camera, and you need to focus on your delivery. You need to focus on your storytelling. You need to focus on your charisma, being likable on camera, rather than all of the post-production tricks that we can do to kind of get around flat delivery. The reason we're doing it this way is because editing, post-production takes time. And if we want to post every single day, which we're doing for your creative habit, remember, we want to make it as simple as possible. We want to remove all friction. So anybody, as long as you get over your fear, anybody can pick up their phone, record for 30 seconds and publish. There are no barriers there. There's not a money barrier. There's not even a time barrier. I mean, I was about to say you could do it on the toilet. Don't do that. But it's very easy to slip a minute into your day. Just record something and post it and not worry whether it's going to go viral, not worry about how good it's going to perform. It's just about building that creative groove early on. So highly recommend Talking Head for that reason. What do you talk about? Don't overcomplicate it. Find what other people in your niche are talking about. Find what general AI people like myself are talking about. Copy it. That's it. So, I mean, what's the big news this week? Okay, I'm just trying to think of something recently. There's so much news that I've forgotten it all. Let's say when GPT-5 came out, which was a little while ago, everybody was talking about GPT-5. Of course they were. So all you do is you jump on that trend, but you make it specific to your particular niche. So if you work for if you work in the finance industry, then you're going to talk about what GPT-5's release means for the finance industry. Now, there might already be people who are talking about this. Great, just copy them, add your own twist, add your own spin. Otherwise, there will be general videos about GPT-5's release that you're going to go and watch, because you're doing this anyway, and then adjust it into your voice for your particular niche. That's it. There is no need to, at least initially, work out your content pillars and your series and kind of the larger content plan. Just copy stuff, at least initially. Again, in the AI Authority Accelerator, this is kind of one of the main parts of it, is I created a series of 25 video ideas and the scripts for you to use. And you just go ahead and you blast your way through. So it removes having to think about what to record, which allows you to get that practice, both delivering and get over the fear of publishing as well. But if you don't have that kind of structure, just go and find what's already working, copy it. Don't need to get smart here at all. There are some videos that are kind of tried and true evergreen successes. If you're talking about AI to your industry, a great video to do is, hey, these are the other accounts you should be following. And then you're like, hey, Sabrina Ramanov, she's great. Who else? Kyle Balmer, he's pretty good. And gosh, I know them all, I should know. Marcin, these are the guys you should be following. This is why you should be following them. That is a really good, nice, easy video to do as an early video. It also puts you on the radar of the other content creators and the other AI authorities as well. And you can start chatting with them. So we actually have a WhatsApp group with all of us in it, and most of the time it's because we did videos on each other and we're like, oh yeah, I like him, he said nice things about me, come join the group. So we're all in this group for that reason. So that's a really easy first video to do. A second video you could do would be, here are all the models right now. So we've got ChatGPT, we've got Claude, we've got Gemini, and here are the different kind of model versions within it. So GPT-5, got GPT-5 Thinking, GPT, whatever they are, Claude 4.5, Claude Opus 4.1, and you just give an outline of what they are and which ones people in your industry should be using. Super valuable video. Obviously that goes out of date, but as a starter video, extremely useful, because most of the time you can just tell them, oh, there's only one or two models you should be thinking about using, ignore all the rest. And that is really useful information to people within your industry, extremely useful. So that's another good basic video. And then I would do one on, these are the tools I use day to day. So a lot of people are overwhelmed by the amount of products in the AI ecosystem. So let's say you are an accountant talking to other accountants. You just cut through all of that and you say, hey, I'm an accountant, I use AI every single day. These are the three things I use. Everything else is basically noise. Don't worry about it. I use Claude for this, I use boom, 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 and you just explain your tech stack. Super valuable and super easy for you to do. But for other people who are watching that, who haven't worked this stuff out, extremely useful. So there's three basic topic ideas that you can go for to start up, but otherwise just copy what's already working. Shamelessly copy it. until you get into a groove and you are comfortable creating content every single day. And then you can start to experiment, and then you can start to work out your larger picture, etc., etc. Just, you can do that later. That's no problem. And then finally, stick to it. You just have to keep going. This is the hardest part. Most people are fine with the starting once they get over their kind of fear of going on camera. Maybe they'll go for a week or so, and then they'll be like, oh, nothing's happening. Why don't I have 100,000 followers? I see other people shooting off ahead of me, and why not me? It's not working. Social media is rubbish. Like, they'll come up with excuses. You have to just stick with it. I mentioned before, I'm in a WhatsApp group with most of the big creators in the niche, and we had a discussion about this. I forget who asked, but the question was, what was the video for you that kind of went viral and kicked you up into the next level? And for everybody, without exception, for everybody, it was a video they did not expect. So for me personally, you can see it. I think it's pinned on the top of TikTok. You can see I'm wearing like this green army jacket. And a lot of the comments are like, oh, you're going somewhere? Are you off out? Why are you wearing a coat indoors? It's because I was literally out on my way out the door. And I was going to meet some friends at the pub. And before leaving, I was like, ugh, I need to do my daily video. I haven't done my daily video, and I know I won't do it later. So fine. So I just sat down and I recorded for about 3 minutes non-stop. Just like blah, 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 blah. It's full of ums and ers. It's all over the place. It's not a good video. I'm wearing my jacket inside, which the commenters like to tell me. And I went out to the pub, and I don't have notifications on my phone because I found them distracting, but I kind of checked in on TikTok a couple of hours later, and it was at 100,000 views. And I was like, oh, wow, that's never happened before. That's cool. Overnight, that went to 1.5 million. And then by the end of the weekend, I think it was at 3 or 4 million views. It just kept on going, just kept going. I had no idea that video was going to be the one that kicked off, but that took me to 10 or 20,000 followers in basically a weekend on TikTok. And talking to the other content creators, that is exactly the same as what happened with all of them. They all had a video that they just kind of put out, didn't really think about it. A lot of the time it's something silly or rushed, which maybe tells us something. And it would just kick off. And then suddenly they had 100,000 followers, and then it becomes a lot easier from there. But you can only reach this point if you stick to it. And it's boring. For me, it took 6 months or so of doing 2 to 3 videos every single day. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of commitment. That is a lot of pain, especially when you are sitting there at 100 followers, knowing that nobody's watching it, and you are putting in the work, and it has no rewards to it. I think, this is conspiracy theory, but I think the platforms want to see that we have the commitment, and that we are going to continue putting out content even when it is difficult. So you just have to keep plodding along. And if you do keep plodding along, eventually there will be a point where it just hockey sticks up. Because if you are continuing to put in the work, yes, you're getting more shots at the algorithm picking you up and taking you to the moon, but you're also building your creative habit, and you are achieving quality through quantity. As long as you are practicing talking to camera, as long as you're basically practicing talking about AI concepts to your particular industry, you are going to get better at it. And there's going to become a skill up that occurs, which is going to help you to get to that first video, which kicks off as well. But it requires you to stick to it. That is why, I know this looks very simple, this document I'm showing you, that is why I recommend keeping it as frictionless as possible. You need to do it every day, and you need to stick to it. So you need consistency and volume. The way to do this is to make sure you are not spending 2 hours a day editing your videos. If you're spending 2 hours a day editing your videos, you are going to burn out and stop doing it. Instead, you keep it as simple as possible, talking head, with you delivering information, until you reach that point where it suddenly shoots up. At that point, yeah, sure, hire an editor. There's money that you can be made from social media, so go ahead and hire an editor. Until then, just keep it super simple, and prioritize reducing the friction as much as possible. So hopefully this has been useful. I know this isn't very pretty looking, but I wanted to keep it raw. I could have designed a lovely looking graphic, but there's no point really. I think the core information is here that you need. Why do this? Well, I mean, it's great having a following, and it's good for the ego. I've been recognised in the street multiple times in London. It's like, oh, you're that AI guy. It's like, yep, yeah, that's me. It happened when I was getting my hair cut once. The guy behind me who was leaving the hairdresser was like, oh, I know you. You're from TikTok. I love your stuff. Thanks. And he left. And the rest of the hairdressers, like all the other people waiting, and my hairdresser was like, oh, are you famous? No, I'm not. And then they were all guessing what I was. And I disappointed them all by saying, oh, I do. I do TikToks about technology. It's like, oh, it's not very exciting. So yeah, sure, ego, very cool. More importantly though, when you have an audience, that opens up business. So there will be people who come to you automatically, who will want stuff from you. You can also go out to them, but companies need distribution, and they need people talking about their products. They need people sending traffic their way. And if you are, again, let's say you're an accountant who talks to accountants about artificial intelligence, you are their bridge to that audience of people, because you are known, you are liked, and you are trusted by your audience. You're a very highly valuable audience if they are accountants as well. So you'll start getting invited to conferences. You'll start getting invited to events. Google, I'm taking me to the Radiohead concert next week, for example. Do I make money from that? No, but it's kind of cool. This will start to happen naturally as you hit a certain number of followers. At 10,000, that's where you'll start to get your first interest. And then at 100,000, that's when it kind of becomes like a deluge. You'll get multiple requests every single day. You can monetize those requests. So sponsorship, I don't personally do it. But again, I'm in this group of TikTokers and Instagram people who do a video. If you are between, I want to say 10 and 100,000 followers, you can charge about $1,000, $2,000 for a video. Once you're over 100,000 followers, then you're charging for $5,000. Or you're saying, I only do kind of what I see a lot of people do. They say, oh, we're going to do a package of videos. So we're going to do 6 videos together. There'll be $5,000 each. So it'd be $30,000. I'll discount it to $25,000 for you. So there is good money. And remember, this is literally just kind of sitting down and talking about a product for a minute. So it's very good money considering the amount of work. What people forget though is you do need to do all of the work before that to build up your audience, and that's what people don't see. All of the blood, sweat and tears required to build that audience. They just see the person getting paid a few $1,000s for shooting a 30-second video. Obviously very cool, and we want to be there. That's fantastic, but it does take a long time to get there. So sponsorship is one way. Sponsorship, affiliate deals, referral, so basically selling things from your content. Great way to make money. I personally don't do that, but it does work really well. What's more interesting to me is being able to sell your own products. So you have an audience of people who are interested in a certain thing. You can now build products for them. And excitingly, when you have that group of people you can talk to, you can say, hey, I want to build something. What do you think I should build? You can talk to them. You can ask them. And then you can beta test it with them. You can make them part of the process of building a product, building a service for them. And then they become your first customers as well. So for example, this is a bit meta, but I'm right now talking about, hey, this is how you build up your authority as somebody in the AI world, so that you can monetize it and become the known person. I actually have a product which can help you do this, which I've mentioned once or twice, which is called the AI Authority Accelerator. So now that I have, I don't know how many people are watching this, 27 people on YouTube, and I've had 100 or so on TikTok, I can now say, hey, by the way, I've got this product, you should check it out. That's not why I'm doing this particular stream, but I do have a product. So anyone who is interested in that, it now becomes a lot easier for me to sell that product to an existing audience. Whereas if you build a product and you don't have an audience, it's just hard work. You're going to have to either borrow somebody's audience by doing affiliate deals with them, or you're going to have to buy an audience by using advertising. Now, these are fine, but they cost money. Whereas if you build your own audience, you have built-in customers for whatever you build. Really, really cool. So that's why I recommend doing it. There are many, many reasons why you might want to, though. But that, for me, is what I do. I drive people from social media into my newsletter, and then from the newsletter, I offer a range of products that people can buy if they want to. So, what have we covered? We have covered how to become an AI authority within your particular niche, why you might want to do that. It gives you leverage. It allows you to run sponsorship deals. It allows you to run your own business off the back of this audience as well. And then we ran through the steps about how you would do this. So very briefly, start on TikTok. Make sure you're posting every day. Make it as frictionless as possible by just doing talking head, no editing. Very, very simple. Talk about artificial intelligence and how it applies in your particular niche, in your particular industry. Copy other people. So find videos that are already working and just narrow them down to your particular niche, and then stick at it for 6 months, 12 months, as long as it takes, knowing that the rewards are there for those people who stick with it. Again, this is a very basic protocol. I could use this up. I could put it into a framework. I could build a course around this. I haven't bothered for now. Maybe I will. But this is the basics of how you would get started and how you commit to actually building up an audience. Again, if you are interested, I'm not really selling here, but there is the AI Authority Accelerator. What I'll do is I'll put the link to it below below this video. These are some of my students, by the way, who are doing very well on TikTok and Instagram. I will put it in the newsletter tomorrow so that you can get access to that if that's something you're interested in. I'm also releasing, speaking of products, the Freedom OS, Freedom Operating System, which will be released this Saturday. That is my deadline, which is a tool, an assessment or a set of assessments that help you work out where you are with artificial intelligence right now, what kind of stuff you need to learn moving forward. It helps create a learning plan, shows you how to keep up to date with all the news, and then takes all of that information and helps you work out what kind of business you should start using artificial intelligence. And there's an assessment and a quiz. It's not really a course. I mean, I've shot videos, I've written up lessons for it, but it's a set of tools to actually work you through, because courses are a dime a dozen and too many people buy courses and never ever do anything with them. So having access to that information is not enough. You need to actually act on it and do something with it. So I've built something that I think is kind of new. I don't even know what to call it. It is, yes, course content with a short video and some written descriptions, but then every single module has a tool, an AI tool, which works with you, coaches you, gets information from you, and then it starts to compile this larger assessment, all driven by artificial intelligence, which will then spit out at the end a freedom plan, which is basically, hey, this is where you are right now. This is where you want to go. This is your income target. These are the kind of businesses we think would be suitable for you to start, based on your skills, based on your knowledge level, based on your industry, etc. And here is the plan for you to move forward. So it's an AI assessment with a course educational element. I don't know what we call this, but I'm hoping it's going to be extremely useful for people, because it actually gives you an action plan. And normally I do this kind of thing with coaching, but this allows me to help a lot more people and not having to charge £500 an hour to coach people. Awesome. So this has been a very different type of stream today. Oh, I think someone's at the door, but hopefully it's been useful. There's very little AI news at the moment, so I will continue to do these different streams as long as there's no news, but otherwise we'll be back to normal programming shortly. I'm going to finish up the YouTube stream and then have a look and see if there's any questions on TikTok. But thank you so much, everybody, and if you want all this information, it'll be in the newsletter.